Bungie. I never thought I would see, I guess, see the day. It's just funny. There's always something that's going on in the game industry, which I love, but it's like going on in the wrong way. What we're seeing here is that the court is denying Bungie's attempt to dismiss a Destiny 2 lawsuit that's going on between a writer and Bungie themselves, the whole studio. And it's pretty funny because they're denying it because of the proof that Bungie has provided. They provided internet videos, YouTube videos, playthroughs, and then wiki pages, basically stuff that was fan made, I guess you would say. And the judge was like, hell no. Well, we'll go ahead and get this, back it up a bit. So what happened, there was a writer named Matthew Kelsey here, Matthew Kelsey Martineau, late 2024, was talking about this whole situation, saying, hey, I want to take Bungie to court, but what was it exactly? Apparently he wrote content basically of the Red War and of Curse of Osiris. He mentioned like the Cabal, the Red Legion faction, like powerful alien force, things like that. And what happened was, apparently, I'm saying this apparently or allegedly, Bungie took that content and put it into their game, which became the Red War and also the Curse of Osiris campaigns. Well, here's the thing. You guys remember going all the way back to, I believe, 2017, when that came out, that was the very first piece of content that you received on Destiny 2. Back then, Destiny 2 wasn't free to play. Destiny 2 was a $60 or $70 game, I can't remember, but you had to actually pay to play the game, right? So I'm one of them, and I paid for the game, and the content was vaulted later on. Basically, where it goes with the case is that this person is filing for, like, pretty much copyright. That was what the gist of it is. And Bungie is saying, like, no, it's not copyright. The stuff is actually different. Like, we'll show you how it's different and everything compared to the person's pages that they presented to the court, right? And the judge is like, no, this is not gonna get dismissed because you submitted YouTube footage and screenshots from fan-made wiki. It doesn't show anything of the work. And the reason why this was dismissed, and Bungie was like fighting for this, but it got dismissed, is because Martineau never mentioned YouTube videos. He's never mentioned fan-made wiki links and stuff like that. Never did that. He's talking about the sole content of the game. So that is what Bungie needs to provide. But the funny thing is, they can't do that. Why? Because apparently it was old code. Basically, they said this: Bungie archived the original code that comprised the Red War and Curse of Osiris campaigns, known as legacy builds. Game director Tyson Green's declaration reads, however, the Red War and Curse of Osiris legacy builds can no longer run because of their outdated source code, or not source codes. Their outdated code is incompatible with Destiny's 2 underlying operational framework, which has evolved considerably since the Red War and Curse of Osiris campaigns were retired. So basically, they're like, the key for them to dismiss this case, potentially dismiss the case, they locked it away, not only from us but from themselves. They cannot provide it. If they try to provide it, maybe it would crash the game, I don't know. But that is just this was just like a huge downfall, like to prove, like a proof of innocence, I guess you would say. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like saying like, oh, somebody suspected you of stealing a car or something, right? And you're like, no, that's impossible. I was live streaming at that time. So like the description could be somebody with like, with hair that's like braids or dreads, and that they're 6'2" and they're an African-American, a skinny African-American male, right? But they're like, if they're like, okay, can you provide the proof? And it's like, well, I deleted my VOD because somebody said a slur on my VOD, so I had to delete the VOD, right? Like, it's just so like, it's like, you guys really shot yourselves in the foot with this one. Like, you really did, because the way to prove yourself innocent, you locked it away. You can't bring it back unless you can rework the code. But then the thing is, if you rework the code just to show this, and like, say for instance, you guys get off, then they're gonna be like, the rest of us, the community, the consumers, we're all gonna be like, bro, put that back in the game. Even if it, like, rework the code, put it back in the game so we can play all of it, because we all paid money for this, right? So like, that's what it should be. If you got it free to play, I mean, if you got the game free to play, I mean, honestly, I think personally you should be able to experience those campaigns free to play. I don't know what the campaign is now on the free play versions of them. I just know like you play it for a bit and then they're like, oh, you want to continue on and you want to keep leveling up, you got to buy the game type of thing, which I think is really stupid. But anyway, it's just so funny seeing this because like they're really trying so hard to get this, like try to really get this thrown out, but they can't because they locked their key evidence away. They locked it away, and it's not just for us, it's from them themselves, which I think is funny. But they also complained that they were saying that, well, you guys do it with like TV shows and movies and stuff, but the judge said this one was different. They said that they need to have it a side-by-side comparison to determine if it is copyright infringement, which again they don't have. They can't really show it. I mean, the defendant, or the not defendant, but person that is accusing them of the copyright infringement is basically like, they're like, hey, here's my documents, I have them right here, what do you guys got? And they have nothing. So it's crazy. So then the judge said that there has not been sufficient time for discovery and the attachments are admittedly of third-party origination. Their authenticity has not been established. So what they said is pretty much, you can't provide it, guess what, we're still going along with it. So Martineau, who laid out dozens of alleged similarities in his filing, from Red Legion to powerful celestial objects hovering above Earth, to character arcs, flame weapons, and timelines merging through the sci-fi tech. Yeah, all of that, and it's all in the 16-page document, which I'm gonna probably go on a live stream later and actually read through this, because this seems very interesting. I want to see like more that's going on with this. But that's all I got for this. If you're in the gaming industry, or if you're making a game and somebody hits you with a copyright infringement, just make sure you have the contents to back it up. And also on top of that, when you're making a game and your first content is under code, like it's just like not up to date coded, you should fix that before you add any more content. You should, just saying. But that's all I got. It's Alpha Channel. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Bungie, man.